This unit looks at contamination or pollution in its principal forms: physical, chemical, and biological. Physical contamination of water is perhaps of least concern in terms of human health. This sort of contamination is generally negative in terms of how water looks or tastes, whether it's cloudy or tastes odd. While less than pleasant, water that has an unappetizing taste or looks less than clear is not necessarily unhealthy. Of much greater concern to humans, specifically in terms of health, are biological and chemical contamination. Chemical contaminants are typically the result of some form of manufacturing activity, whether at the scale of a small business or that of a large factory. When discharged directly into water supplies, liquid and solid waste compounds pose the risk of poisoning. Agriculture, likewise, can be a source of chemical pollution of water when the water that flows off fields or flows away from animal feedlots carries with it dissolved nitrate and phosphate fertilizers and synthetic pesticides, all of which can find their way into streams. The form of water pollution that is of the greatest concern in terms of its prevalence of impact on human health is the biological, the presence of disease-causing pathogens, that is, bacteria, viruses, protozoa, and parasitic worms. Disease caused by these pathogens is a widespread cause of acute debilitation and death around the world. Current best estimates of worldwide water-related mortality range from 2 to 5 million people a year, with some sources claiming that as many as 12 million deaths per year occur from biological pollution of water. As I noted earlier, while water that is visually dirty may not be damaging to humans, it is quite likely to be an inferior habitat for most aquatic or freshwater species, particularly those of value to humans, for example, fish or shellfish. This is due to the fact that the tiny particles that make water appear dirty or cloudy both interfere with the respiratory functions of water creatures and limit the amount of sunlight entering the water. Another type of biological pollution is that of nutrient loading, a phenomenon that occurs when naturally biodegradable compounds, not necessarily toxic ones, are discharged into a body of water in volumes that exceed the natural capacity of that body of water to decompose them, with the result that the level of dissolved oxygen declines to a point where the higher aquatic species, in a word, fish, are deprived of the oxygen required to survive. Streams burdened with high levels of nutrient loading are of lower quality on nearly all counts. Their water is cloudy, it's likely to taste bad, it could possibly smell bad, and the range of fish it supports is greatly diminished. As you can see, water quality is a territory where economic, aesthetic, and health issues intersect. Finally, high-quality water can itself be an economic resource. That is, in supporting fishing that provides a source of high-quality protein to people of modest means. This concludes the introduction to the science of water. Before we move on to discuss the major issues surrounding water problems and their solutions, I ask you now to take the post test to examine how your knowledge about water has increased.